We're talking about the new movie Relay, and I'm going to go ahead and let Riz Ahmed, Lily James, tell us what this movie's all about because that's the famous line that Lily says to Riz's character. So, Liz, tell us what Relay's all about.
Riz, you're so much better at this than me.
No,
I'm
no. We'll throw down a tag team it.
tag team.
Okay, so Lily's character works at a pharmaceutical company, is in possession of these top secret materials, showing the company's up to no good. Wants to go public with them, and then
And she realizes that through the more official route, she's not going to get the help she needs. She's under serious duress. She's terrified for her life. And she's sort of under the table recommended to go to this mystery person. There is no information. It's just a number. And she takes that risk. She's led to this fixer, Riz plays, who basically gets these whistleblowers or these people out of these situations and facilitate a transfer of documents between individuals and these kind of big, shady corporate forces.
This is such a terrific movie from start to finish. You guys nailed that. You obviously have great chemistry, but your characters aren't introduced together till later in the movie. Riz, what was it like kind of building that chemistry off screen to then know that this is how we have to be on screen building that chemistry?
be honest, I mean, look, as you see, Lily's a lovely person and she's an amazing actor, so it's really effortless. And it's what I guess the thing I would say is that we spend most of the film not actually meeting and not actually talking in person because of this relay service that is at the heart of the movie and what the movie is named after. It's basically kind of an operator service for deaf and hearing impaired people. Um, and so we didn't actually connect directly a lot of the time. We shot a lot of our scenes separately. And so there was this anticipation. We did finally film together and get to play together. There was a lot of build up to that, and it just felt really enjoyable.
So enjoyable. And I think one of the lines that stood out to me the most in the movie was when Lily's character says to yours, "You know so much about me, but I know so little about you." Lily, what did you learn about Riz throughout the filming process, kind of like your character indicated?
Riz is just phenomenal. I mean, I was so excited to work with him as an actor. I love his work. And as he said, despite the fact we didn't have much time on screen together, David Mackenzie is hugely collaborative, and we were able to really work on the script, sort of have this rehearsal time together every week, and we were getting together and sort of looking at next week's work and seeing how we could really finesse it and sort of bring all our ideas to the table. And I loved it so much. He's a legend. It's very at times. I think there's a delay. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It's terrific filmmaking. Riz, obviously people know you from your incredible Oscar-nominated work in Sound of Metal, which kind of ties in here, like you said, for this relay program. What did you take from filming that to kind of incorporate into this movie?
Well, one interesting thread that runs through both is that my character can speak American Sign Language. It was just an interesting idea that came up because my character is reliant on this relay service that was initially designed for use by the deaf community. I thought it made sense that, well, where did he get it from? Maybe one of his friends is deaf or hard of hearing, and then we created this character, and it was great to reconnect with some of my friends in the New York deaf community. My teacher, Jeremy Stone, JLS, he came and was supervising on set and helping with that element of the production. So that felt actually really beautiful to reconnect in that way. And also I think really important to have deaf characters in films that are not about being deaf. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to
You're
do
so
that
right
do that
about
too.
that. Representation is so important, and it doesn't have to be the forefront of the storyline. People need to see Relay in theaters August 22nd. You know director David Mackenzie from his great films Hell or High Water, Outlaw King, and now you're going to know Relay. This movie is so much fun. How did you come on board to direct this movie?
I read the script back in 2019, and I felt it had all, some juicy ingredients, a little bit of film noir, a little bit of 70s thriller, contemporary whistleblower stuff, New York flavors. Sort of strange relationship with old technology and a kind of analog v digital vibe, and some really strong characters to delve into. So I could tune into that material. Cut to several years later, we made it 2 years ago, yeah, in 23. It took a while to get off the ground. Evolved it a little, the script quite a lot along the way, and gathered two great leads, who I both think feel like they're kind of almost sort of classical old school movie stars in this film, and then obviously a third lead in the wonderful Sam Worthington, who I've worked with multiple times now, and is always great. So yeah, it's been a ride to get to, and I'm really pleased that the film is going to coming out into the world now.
And these two leads, obviously, Riz Ahmed, Lily James, who are just international superstars with The Sound of Metal, Pam and Tommy, their most recent, just great work. What was it like having them kind of assemble your team and lead the way on this movie?
It was great, but we had a very particular challenge, which you'll know from seeing the film, which is that Riz and Lily, who are the leads in the film, and there's a quite strong romantic undercurrent and all those things, but they're actually never in the same room together until the last part of the film. So they're not only not in the same room together, they're carrying out their conversations through a dislocated third party. So to try and create that sense of intimacy and tension and the beginnings of a connection through those dislocated means was interesting. Obviously we rehearsed together, so they were in the same room for that, but they're kind of giving themselves out into the void, as it were. And there's something about that does sort of almost work with the sort of loneliness and isolation, particularly of Riz's character, but of both of them, which is really what connects them in the big city of New York.
Really builds up to that final scene, those final few, I guess, 10, 20 minutes where they meet. It's so exciting for audience to see that. Audiences saw this at the Toronto International Film Festival last year, and now it's finally coming out to theaters. What was that reception like? Because obviously it was well received there, but now you're kind of waiting for the full world to see it. What is it like for you to anticipate the full world to finally see this?
I mean, it's always nerve-wracking, as a human being or a filmmaker. I have kind of a great deal of sort of exposure anxiety. There's making of the film, which is a creative process, and you do it, and then putting the film out into the world, and hoping that it catches the audience's imagination, and that they connect to it, and that it kind of works for them. We got a flavor of it being pretty sort of working for audiences and critics in TIFF. We had a little screening in Tribeca, and that went down well, and that was the first time that Lily and Riz had seen it on the big screen, and their love for it was very, very gratifying. They really loved. They could see on the big screen in a way they just seemed to see it on the just the nuances of their performances and everything. They were really happy with it. But now we're out in the big wide world, so let's hope the critics are kind, and let's hope the audience is going to see it, and Bleaker have been great in getting it out there, so I'm cautiously optimistic, shall we say.
Well, you have nothing to worry about. It's such a fun movie. Relay in theaters August 22nd. Thank you so much, David.